What is up, everybody? David Maguire here, back with another video, back with a little bit of a different video. Something I am only covering because I feel like it got a lot of attention when it happened, and I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of theories and whatnot out there, and I feel like I want to give you what I feel about what's happening, what I feel like what's going on in Wizard 101 right now, because there are a lot of theories, guys, and yeah. I'm making this video mainly because of Zen Master Blue's Wizard 101 Merle Ambrose theory video. That he believes that our boy Merle is going to turn on us, and he wants to know why. Because the assumption is he knows all 7 schools, possibly even Astral and Shadow. That why are we doing all the work? Why are we doing all this? Are we leveling out the playing field for him so he can come in and just take over? Is he evil? Is Gamma the source of his power? Those are just kind of some questions he pointed out. Those are just some of the things that he was curious about. He wanted to know about the 100% true relationship between him and Morganth. Those were excellent questions, I must say. They really got me thinking, which is why I'm making this video, because I feel like it's necessary to kind of sit down and think about, hey, what is going on in Wizard 101? Where's the story turning? Because things are a little bit different. This video is going to be about the source of shadow magic and why I think third arc is going to be a game changer on the entire story of Wizard 101. So sit back in your seats, make sure you have some popcorn popped. If you don't have popcorn popped, pause the video and go get some popcorn, because it might be a long one. I don't know for a fact. I do want to take some time and talk about shadow magic. First off, shadow magic, the source of Morganth's evil. Not entirely. In fact, what I didn't understand in second arc with the Morganth thing, she had to go master astral magic, even though she already had shadow magic. Okay, that is something that I didn't understand to an entirety, because she was in Chrysalis, which at this point of the storyline I'm going to assume is the home where the birth of shadow magic took place, the birth of this evil, dark power took place. And this is why I think Old Cobb plays an important role in this game right now, because this is a major spoilers for those of you who haven't made it very far in the game. I'm sorry about that. I should have pointed that out earlier. He's playing a major role because you have Morganth, who had Old Cobb locked up in a cage almost, while she was in charge of Chrysalis, and Old Cobb helped us defeat her because. Yeah, well, here's my theory. All right, my theory. It's complicated. It's gonna take a little bit to understand. I understand if you have to sit back and watch this video 2-3 times, and I respect that if you do. I respect that if you made it even far enough to hear me say that. So, Old Cobb, I believe, is the father of shadow magic. I believe Old Cobb is some sort of descendant directly. He is a beast that has been born between Grandmother Raven and Bartleby, the grandfather tree Bartleby, and that he was, besides the dragons, titans, and the giants, he was the dragons, titans, giants, he was the 4th child. I believe Old Cobb was the 4th child, as kind of Blue believes that maybe Merle Ambrose was the 5th child, because they are both old beings. This is bringing back some Arcanum vibes. What is the purpose of that cage in Arcanum? Here's my theory for that Arcanum cage. Here's my theory for that. Why did Morganth have him locked up? Because obviously Morganth was scared of him enough to lock him up, but why didn't Morganth have him eliminated if he was that big of a problem? I believe that the power of shadow in itself comes from Old Cobb, and that without Old Cobb's existence, shadow would cease to exist. And that's why Morganth, instead of killing him or removing him, locked him up in a cage deep in the ground with a bunch of guards protecting him. protecting the cage, because she needed him. She needed him to be locked up so that she could feed off of his shadow magic and not have to worry about him getting in the way or causing problems, which this is definitely an odd theory in itself. But I'm saying right now Old Cobb is the source of shadow magic because look at Rasputin. Rasputin is one of Old Cobb's children. Rasputin is one of the children. There's like a scorpion, there's a rat, and I don't remember what the other one was. I think it was Bat, which is going to lead us into Mirage, which was, I think, the scorpion. And whatever's next, I think it's Imperia with the Bat. But what I'm saying right now is that we have a little bit to understand shadow magic now. Not quite enough, but we know that the rat is a pure shadow being as of this time, as his school is shadow. So what I'm saying is that Old Cobb, being the source of shadow, can make pure 100% shadow beings, such as Old Cobb himself, whom pretty much comes in and is doing some damage. Old Cobb, if this is true, alright, the Dragons, Titans, and the Giants are sleeping, and Merle Ambrose and Old Cobb are the final two, the two awake children of Grandfather Bartleby and Grandmother Raven. And I believe towards the end, I know Merle Ambrose hasn't done anything for us as of this point, but I believe that Merle Ambrose is going to come in, and there's going to be a bit of a brawl. They're brothers. I feel like they have some beef, obviously. From what I know now, Merle Ambrose does have good intentions. Merle Ambrose he has a mastery in all 7 schools. So, from that perspective, it is different to see, if they're all siblings in this case, how did Merle Ambrose end up with 7 different schools, the 7 main, Ravenwood schools? How did Old Cobb end up with pure shadow, as what I'm seeing right now? And then the other 3 were just storm, fire, and ice. So you do have to kind of sit there and you have to think, okay, what is the difference between those 2 and the 3 that are sleeping/dead? Don't quite understand the storyline with that right now. But there is a bit of a complication with that because we're sitting back and we're seeing, oh, well, first we had to go deal with this evil old death professor. Then we have to go defeat Morgath, who has this crazy old dude locked up in a cage, who pretty much has crazy children that are going to cause more problems. So yeah, the story is evolving in a weird way, and I feel like that's what's going to be a game changer as of this point for Wizard 101 as a whole. I feel the evolution of the game is definitely rounding out. But in the end, my theory is Gamma is I'll let you watch Blue's video about Gamma. He talks about Gamma a little bit because we don't see much from Gamma the Owl except in Avalon, which he makes a good point. What is Gamma's purpose? Is Gamma an evil spy sent there by Old Cobb himself? Is Gamma a random friend? Or is Gamma another child of Grandmother Raven and Grandfather Bartleby? I personally haven't deciphered that myself, but there is a lot of theories in Wizard 101, from the source of Shadow to the source of the original 7 schools, which I'm actually at the point where instead of Merle Ambrose being all 7 schools, I believe or all 6 schools, because 7 is balance. I believe that he is just life, myth, and death. I believe that for some reason he covered all those 3, and Old Cobb was the source of Shadow. Either he himself is the power of Shadow, which means when we're using shadow magic, we're actually draining him, which would be another curious source. How much shadow is there actually? Is shadow infinite? Is it not infinite? And if Old Cobb is the source of shadow and not shadow itself, is that cage in the Arcanum meant for Old Cobb when we deal with him? Because if we kill him, we won't have shadow to deal with anymore. We won't have shadow the power. And wizards have become so reliant on it at this point that even the Arcanum professors are probably using Shadow themselves. So at this point, we have to sit back and we have to say, oh, we need Shadow magic. We kill Old Cobb. Boom, there goes Shadow. Shadow's done for it. And if that's the case, I don't know. I believe Mirage is going to be the Scorpion, by the way. The Scorpion, or whatever his name's going to be. But Mirage is going to take a bit of a turn. We're going to have to see, is the Scorpion or the final boss of Mirage going to be pure Shadow as well? Is this going to be maybe, are they going to add a different school? Are they going to add a school that counters Shadow? Or are they going to add another main school that you can start off learning? Which would add a whole nother, it had a whole nother realm, like a whole nother power into Wizard 101 that would it kind of shake up the game a little bit. And I'm curious to see where we're going with this at this point, because it is hard to kind of grasp the fact that Merle Ambrose is the power of the spirit schools, the Dragon, Triton, and the Giant are the power of the elemental schools, Old Cobb is Shadow, Astral was made by some Celestian gods, and yeah, so we don't know, we're dealing with, as the story is right now, we're dealing with very old creatures that are eons, moons old, and we have to, kind of sit there, we have to grasp it. But, yeah, a bit of a longer video today. I don't think I've made one this long in a while. What is your personal theories about Wizard 101 at this point? I am curious to know what people are thinking, because there aren't a lot of theories, there are a lot of stories, there are a lot of twists and turns. Do you think Wiz is going to twist the way I think it's going to twist? Probably not. We're going to have to see how much of this video actually becomes debunked with Mirage, and because Mirage is probably going to come out, I want to say November, maybe December. I can't wait to be covering that. That's going to be so much fun. We'll be praised. Maybe Wiz Evil, I don't know. But what I'm trying to get at is that everything's changing, the game is changing. I'll have to make another theory after I understand Mirage a little bit, after I do Mirage 1 or 2 times. I've done Polaris a couple times already, so I feel like I was ready and I feel like I was knowledgeable to make this video. I know some people probably have their own theories, their own ideas on this. I know Zen Master Blue's theory is a little bit different than mine at this point, but I think we follow the same basis that Merle is definitely on a different level. If he's this all-powerful being that maybe me and Blue think he is he going to be the person that helps us defeat Old Cobb? Or maybe are we on this path because Merle Ambrose himself is our father? Maybe Uncle Old Cobb is going to... I don't know. We just really don't know. I know they say we're from a planet Earth, but I guess Merle Ambrose was from Avalon, and I know there's a couple humans in Avalon. Maybe we ourselves are from Avalon, even though Avalon does believe in magic, Avalon does believe in power. But I know at the beginning that we come from a world that does not believe in magic. So, are we potentially a child or a grandchild of Merle Ambrose himself? Are we related to Old Cobb? That is definitely a story that's going to come out, and it's definitely gonna edge the whole spiral. And it's gonna put some crackles through the spiral. It's gonna put some crackles through Bartleby's roots, which is currently holding the spiral together, as we all know. But yeah, guys, I think I have to quit rambling on. It's been a pretty long video. Tell me your theories down below. I try to read every comment. I definitely do read every comment. I reply to all comments right now, but if this video gets 1 million views and everybody comments, I probably won't be able to reply to all of them. But I'll definitely read all of them. It just depends on what happens. If you made it this far, make sure to leave a comment for sure. Tell me your theories, tell me what you think about this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay safe, and peace out.